There we go. Good evening. Welcome to the City of New Carrollton City Council meeting of March 4th, 2026. We're starting with get to know your council members. We started with Agnelli, and we did Brianna, and we did Cynthia, A, B, C, and now we're up to D for Dwayne. And there's a slide that they will show, and I'm gonna start with a little show and tell, actually. I'm gonna pass this around. You can take a look. This is a watch. And if you look at the back of it, you see it's engraved. And one of my passions has been to, I always like running, never competitively, but I like to run. But I did do long distance. And that watch was given to me by the Cumberland Valley Athletic Club.
I wonder if it's
I bet that's Cynthia.
That could be Cynthia. The Cumberland Valley Athletic Club gave me that, and there's only 2 of those watches they issued because you had to complete 2,000 miles of the trail to get that watch. So I remember in the back it says 2,000 miles. So if it's a 50-mile run, I had to do it 40 times. And there's only 2 of us who have done that. And the other person, I'll mention his name, is Kimball Byron. And his father was somebody, and you're all so much younger than me. His father was somebody named Goodloe Byron.
Does anybody in the audience want to see the watch?
And it doesn't run because I haven't changed the battery. I don't wear a watch, but it was a nice gift. Goodloe Byron was a state. Goodloe Byron was a state representative in Annapolis back in the 1980s, and he was a runner, and he died while running. But he had a son named Kimball, and Kimball is 10 years younger than me. But Kimball is the only other person who received a watch by the Cumberland Valley Athletic Club for the JFK 50-mile run. They started that back after JF Kennedy was assassinated in memory of him. They still do it. And I used to run it in the days when they had 200 or 300 finishers. Now they allow 1,000 people to enter, and they usually have 800 or 900 people finish it every November. I can't do it anymore. They have had guys do it in their 70s, and they've had a couple people do it in their 80s. And of course, if you follow the news and running, there was an 80-year-old woman who did the entire Appalachian Trail last year. So people stay active in the later years. But well, thank you. It's one of my passions. And when you see the slide, you'll see pictures of bicycles, because as I got older, I can't run like I used to run. So I still go out and do a 5K once in a while, but I transitioned into bicycle riding. And the pictures I gave Agnelli, because she put this together, we should thank her for helping us with this whole session that we're doing, this sharing each other's backgrounds. I gave her some pictures of my bike riding because it happened right around, I was in Florida for this ride. These are all in Florida. I belong to the Broward County Bicycle Club, and they do a ride from Miami to Daytona Beach, 280 miles, with a group. It's called Tour de Force, where we make a donation and the money goes to the families of fallen officers. And it's a bike rider's dream because you have the officers escort you with motorcycles from Miami all the way to Daytona Beach. So when you get to intersections and red lights, you just keep going. You don't have to pause. You don't have to look for traffic. You get in pace lines, you go. So that was fun. And I thought it was funny. I gave that to Agnelli, but the bottom picture is the Miami Heat cheerleading squad. And they were there to give us a send-off. This was day 1 before we were all beaten up from riding, and people. I still get out and do some running, and I will say, where's I don't think I put it on here, but yeah, here it is. In the bottom, a bit about my professional background. This year was 20 years as an elected official. So
Make the Hall of Fame.
Mayor, well, thank you. Mayor Felicia told me she is working on the planning committee for that's right, it's a Municipal Hall of Fame, the planning committee for the conference in June. The Maryland Municipal League Conference, and I will be recognized into the municipal. Stephen John, who must be trying to call here, the Municipal Hall of Fame. So with that, and it just reminds me when you clap, there was an article in the Post this week that the mayor, Cumberland Park, said, "No booing, no clapping, no cheering. Our council meetings will be professional. We don't want the audience, because apparently they have a lot of contentious issues." So. But I think it's fine with people clap. Thank you. So that's enough of my background. We'll move on to the rest of the agenda. Okay. I'm sorry?
What part of New Jersey?
I grew up in Atlantic City.
Oh.
before there was gambling. And when gambling came to Atlantic City, that's more stories. I mean, my friends all got good jobs, pit bosses and dealers, and they were getting good money, and it changed the whole city. And of course, then gambling came to Maryland and every other state, and Atlantic City became not so prosperous.
Wait, you didn't say anything what's keeping you busy in February and March.
You know, I didn't. And right now, I'm a volunteer with the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program with the IRS. And I have, my numbers are getting up to about 60 or 80 returns that I've done this year. And it's funny, I went out today for a short walk jog over by the Vita course, and Mr. Perez went, "Dwayne, you ready to do my taxes?" I know, I get to know people. I go by houses where I'm doing the tax return, but I am doing that volunteer work this year through April. That can be part of the announcements too. I'm glad to help people out with an income limit of $69,000, but it's a great program. So thank you for bringing that up. But, all right, let's move on to residents' concerns. We have 2 residents in the audience here. Anybody want the podium? No? No, and I don't know if I have any hands on the screen there. No? All right, and then we'll go to council announcements. And let's see who to start with here. Agnelli, you want to start with an announcement or 2?
I have one.
Okay.
City Council Town Hall is Saturday, March 14, 2 to 4 p.m. at the New Carrollton Library. We've had great attendance and very engaging conversations. So I encourage residents to attend, and I want to thank the council members who have supported the initiative. We look forward to seeing you there on the 14th. And there's no town hall in April because we're having the public guests. So that's it, Mr. Chair.
The last town hall, I thought I'd bring some snacks, and I brought some fruit. And I found out that the people who attend like junk food better than fruit, of course.
I
And,
ate an apple.
I saw you, Brian, but I also found out that if you bring chocolate, the Reese's peanut butter cups disappear. So I'll bring more this time. There was chocolate for February for Valentine's Day. Now we're in Easter, so I'll bring chocolate this time too.
I went for the Reese's cups over the oranges.
Brianna, you have any announcements tonight?
I just one announcement. If anyone knows any young people in the county, and the definition of young people for this opportunity is ages 14 to 24, the Summer Youth Employment Program application opened on March 1st, and it goes through the end of March. The period for which the youth would be able to be employed through the county starts in July, and it would be a 6-week full-time opportunity to get employment. Not all of the positions are paid. Sometimes for the younger youth, they have more of like an observation. You're just kind of interning, and sometimes the opportunities are even remote, where you're actually just getting educated on different types of careers. But for the older youth, ages like 17, 18 and up, there usually are pretty meaningful work opportunities with opportunities to be hired by the county in various departments. It's not just government jobs. They also work with the private sector and nonprofits. And so if you know a young person who's looking for a summer job, I know that we've had like our own little summer youth employment program here in New Carrollton, which has been an incredible experience. But the county application is online. You can find it on the Prince George's County website, and the application does close on March 30th. They will not take your application on March 31st or any other day after it. That's my only announcement.
Okay, thank you. Lincoln?
Actually, don't have any announcements tonight, Mr. Chair, other than I am grateful that we are in March, and I hope that we've seen the last of the snow until December.
Oh, we got snow. I saw snow in the parking lot.
It's still melting from the last one.
70 degrees by Monday, this is Lincoln, so I think you're on safe territory. All right. Cynthia, you have an announcement?
Saturday, there'll be a food giveaway here from 10 to 12.
That is the first Saturday of the month. That's right. It's the first Saturday, and the second Saturday is the town hall. Then I have 2. One is this week is Read Across America Week for elementary school children. And our school, Carrollton Elementary, is recognizing that on the 5th, tomorrow. So I will be there tomorrow reading to the children in the morning, and I hope some others show up, but it's Read Across America every year. And the second item I already mentioned is that we're still doing income tax assistance free of charge to help seniors and low-income residents. So feel free to contact City Hall if you need to get a hold of me related to that. And that's all I have. Then we're going to move on to the BRC contract. And before we discuss that, I want to recognize that I see Harold and Beverly from BRC online. So if you folks have questions as we go through this discussion, it's a public meeting and they're welcome to join us and they're there. So, and I think, just by way of introduction, I've read the contract. I've received a few questions from residents, but I don't think anything earth shattering to stop this. And I'd like to hear, just go around the table. Anybody has any concerns with this contract before we vote on it tonight? Feel free to ask Harold and Beverly questions too. They could chime in. Let me start with Cynthia. We'll go to reverse order. You okay, Cynthia, with the contract?
I'm just curious that all the timeframes you give us, when do you think your drop dead date will be to deliver to us?
Oh, you're talking to, Beverly's online. I guess, can we get her to respond to Cynthia, the drop dead date to give us all the deliverables?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So as soon as we have our first kickoff meeting with city staff and receive the information that we need, we can better answer that question. However, we are prepared to meet the 60-day deadline.
Any question? Okay. Lincoln, do you have anything to make an observation about on the contract or questions for the contract?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I made two observations on page 4, the second paragraph where it speaks to the payment terms. The very last sentence is a number and it says, actually there's a word in a number. It says net 15. And I'm wondering, was that a typo or is that you're referencing something earlier in the contract?
No, it isn't a typo. It's a 15-day turnaround period on payment.
Oh, okay. Got you. Thank you so much for the clarity. And then the other question that I have is on page, it looks like, oh, I see. It's
It's
I'm
the
looking
number
at
for
it.
the package and then the number for
Yeah.
the contract.
So it's under insurance, number 13. I noticed that you all maintain general liability insurance and also workers' compensation coverage. Do you also have a cyber liability insurance policy? And the reason I'm asking is because you will be handling very sensitive information and we would be concerned if there were any type of breach. So I just want to know if you all have cyber liability insurance as well.
We don't have a specific cyber policy, but we do have adequate coverage to ensure that all safeguards are in place for this engagement. And we do have the necessary safeguards in terms of cyber protections to ensure that there is no compromise of the information that is presented to us.
Thank you, ma'am. No further questions, Mr. Chair.
All right, Brianna?
No questions. I felt like it accurately reflects what their presentation was like. Thank you.
I agree. All right. Agnelli, please.
Yes, it was in the RFP, but it's not mentioned here. Under deliverables, we do have the expectation of having a presentation to our residents of the findings of the contract and all 3 phases of the contract. So, there would be that expectation on a public setting like this, that the company will present all the findings in a summarized fashion, but also the expectation that, in case you're not aware, but based on your experience, you should, that final report will become public.
Yes,
Our transparency.
yes. We're aware and we're prepared to make presentation.
Something to keep in mind then is some of the draft documents or working tables and stuff might want to be designated as not final report because they should be confidential because of the sensitive nature. So maybe there's a way of distinguishing whatever is a product of work in, development. And I clearly identified what is going to be considered a final report to become public.
Yes,
And
we're prepared for that.
Okay, we've gone around the table. Beverly, since you're online, just a couple things maybe. I received questions from residents and I summarized them here, and most of them I think I could answer myself, but let me just ask you to clarify a couple things. I'm not sure it's specifically mentioned in the contract or in the statement of work or in the RFP, but we have a personnel policy. What will you be doing with our personnel policy? Referring to it or reviewing it or nothing?
I'll defer to Mr. Cooper to answer that question.
Okay. You there, Harold?
You're on mute.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, distinguished council. We will take a comprehensive look and review of your policies because in order for us to do the organizational assessment and look at the job classification and compensation practices, we have to make sure things align, or if they don't align, make said recommendations to make the adequate adjustments. So to answer your question, we will take a deep dive and review all policies that are relevant to this project.
Okay, and my second question, I think I know the answer to, but just to be clear, what are we doing with police? Did we leave those out of the process here because they're under a collective bargaining agreement?
Well, on a macro level, we're going to look at all jobs. However, because they're under collective bargaining, there are some restraints in reference to what type of assessments we can do and can't do in terms of making recommendations because of the collective bargaining agreement that's in place. But we're going to look at all positions.
Okay, and only two more here.
Sure.
One resident noted that in the deliverables that we collectively, maybe in the RFP we didn't do it, but that we didn't specify that we want deliverables related to the organizational assessment. And those deliverables, I mean, you will be giving us deliverables in the organizational assessment, correct?
Yes, we will be giving you deliverables on all facets of this RFP in terms of what the RFP entails in terms of the organizational structure that was outlined in the RFP. Now, and in order for us to do that, again, we're going to need relevant information from staff so that we can adequately have the turnaround that's needed so that we can meet our deadlines.
Okay, and then one other question, and then just a comment. Similar to the personnel policy, we have time and attendance procedures. Is that going to be part of your review too? That's not specifically mentioned.
So that was not identified in the RFP, but again, when we look at it from the macro and not micro level, we're going to look at those job classifications and identify those jobs that may need to be reclassified as exempt or non-exempt, and also look at the FLSA component associated with that. In terms of time and attendance when it comes to workforce units and departments, you know, that's an internal management issue, and that really wasn't identified in the scope. But again, when we look at the overall organizational assessment at the macro level, we will definitely include whatever deficiencies and recommendations needed.
And as we get interim reports, there is in the contract the phrase additional services. If you see a need for something that needs further exploration or development, you'll let us know, right?
We will, and we will have that discussion at that particular time.
Correct. Okay. And the last thing is that when we have the kickoff meeting, it could be at a council meeting, but if it's not at a council meeting, the council wants to be represented, so we could select a person, probably myself, I'm most available to attend that meeting. So we'll have our meetings and status meetings with the council and the administration together. You're comfortable with that?
In some facets, we are, but we want to make sure that we can do this independently and objectively, and we don't have any problems with a designee from the council being a part of it. But I also think too, to ensure that things can be looked at objectively and we can utilize staff as needed, you know, I think we can do that in phases and increments.
That's all I have, and you've been very helpful. Thank you for signing in tonight, Harold and Beverly. I'm going to go to the council now. They heard me with this exchange. Did any other questions come to your mind? I mean, I put 10 minutes in this thing, but we need to explore it before we vote on it. Another question over there, Agnelli?
One more, since the drop dead date is, contingent on you getting all the information that is required from the administration, that's an administration task. But, I would ask that if there's any delays or roadblocks, that at least the chair be made aware of anything that would impact the progress of the contract work.
Most definitely, Madam Council.
Thank you.
Okay.
I-
Oh, good. We're generating more conversation. I want this to be a solid contract. Go- Cynthia, I
Okay.
think I saw your hand
I
first.
think we discussed transportation and you all come back and forth before. With what's going on now, the price of gas is gonna go up. The price of plane trips are gonna, the plane tickets are gonna go up. Is that gonna limit the amount of time you come up here and meet with us face to face? Anybody?
So so travel is a separate cost that's listed in the, our submittal. And if you want in-person meetings, we will discuss what that looks like. But it's not included in the flat rate.
Well,
No,
no,
it's
that,
in the contract. They can't charge more than the flat rate. So if a plane ticket was $30 one day and 3,000 the next day, they get to charge us what the contract says, no more.
okay.
I
No, Brown,
I
you have a
wanted to
question?
echo, yeah, just what Agnelli said in a different way, but similar. I really think it's important that you stay in communication with the team while they're doing the work so that you can receive regular updates. Obviously, there are going to be things that you can't inform BRC about because you don't work in the building. But as long as you have like regular communication with them, I think that's important. So I'm happy to hear that they were willing to invite you in, and I think you are the best person to do it because you are the most available.
Thank you. I agree with that. And I'm willing to volunteer to do that. And it's awkward that we can't have all of us together, but every time we do that, we have a quorum and we have a meeting, we have an announce and everything. So if one person does it, I can bring status reports to the council meeting.
That's what I figured. If you could just,
Yeah.
take notes and keep us informed, that would be the easiest way.
And the travel thing, I mean, Beverly, my understanding is that's not included in the 38,000 and you'll let us know what you need to do and we will, we'll adjust whatever is necessary, what we think is necessary for that. But a lot of this can be done, data analysis and even meetings can be done virtually. Isn't that your understanding of this?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. I think I'm going to move on. We're not taking a vote right now, but we will later this evening. Anybody opposed to this contract? So I can let Beverly and Harold sign out if they don't want to hear about portable toilets. Next thing on the agenda. Is anybody going to vote against this contract? No? Okay, we're going to vote in favor of it unanimously tonight. So you folks don't need to hang around for another half hour if you don't want to. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
all.
us. Thank you. Take care. Good
Okay.
night.
The next thing is the budget amendment, not the toilet. Okay. I'm gonna go around the table on the budget amendment. If you read this. Okay. Who am I gonna start with on this one? Cynthia, you see, you're talking about the 38,000 in airfare. They're asking us to put 50,000 in for this contract, which would accommodate some travel.
Okay,
But do you have any questions?
no, I'm just curious about it because gas went up 15 cents since last night.
It did.
So you're talking about 6 months from now, we might be up to $5, $6. Yeah,
Yeah, it went up 30 cents since Monday.
yeah. That's
I'm
what-
getting
that's-
gas every day.
That's the first thing I asked.
Mm.
I can feel it.
Okay, that's, there's concern for travel costs, but, Lincoln, do you have any other questions on?
Actually, I think you already addressed it, Mr. Chair. I was wondering why the contract was for 38,050 was being set aside. Is that for incidental expenses, including travel?
Yes, not unless you want me to do a budget amendment every time we have to do something.
No. It's perfect sense. And my other question is, let me know if it's a typo, but if 50,000 is coming out of the original budget, shouldn't it go down to 55 instead of go up to 155 on that first line? Oh. On the top
No,
line?
that's the increase.
That's the increase.
That's anything.
So that line is a decrease in revenue or increase in expenditure. So it would be 105 plus 50,000 and gives us 155.
Okay.
And you can see our surplus. That's it, then, yeah, surplus went up 50,000.
Because that's an increase in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
It's just confusing to me because I saw a decrease in revenue and then I saw the budget category go up instead of go down, but okay,
But that's an expenditure line item, so it's an increase in expenditures.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Brianna, anything on this?
No questions.
Agnelli?
No questions?
Okay, looks like we're gonna vote on this too. I thought the 50,000 was, a little high for incidentals for $38,000 contract. But Maisha's right, we don't want her running back to us with amendments every time. So let's do this and, see how frugal BRC can be using the money we allocated for that. Okay, that's that. We're ready to vote on that tonight? No, not tonight.
That one's not tonight.
That's not tonight. For debt collections through third parties. It's the first reading. So, where that is. That's, kind of long for a whole reading, but
You just have to read the summary.
yeah, okay, well, I'll ask Lincoln to do that. Just, everything in capital bold there is enough for the audience
The
to
bold
get,
title.
Just the title.
yeah.
When we're ready to vote, not now.
We're not gonna vote on it now. This is first reading.
Oh, we're not discussing, we did I miss part?
No, we'll discuss it,
Ah.
but we'll vote on it at another meeting. But for now, we're just gonna make the audience aware of what the substance is by reading that first paragraph. You want to do that, Lincoln?
Want to do that, or this year? Okay.
Yeah, just that part.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of New Carrollton, Maryland, authorizing the city to collect unpaid debts through a licensed third-party collection agency by adding section 1-27, collection through licensed third-party debt collectors to the code.
Okay? Let's go around the table here with any thoughts on this one. I've read it. I have a couple questions. Let's see who goes first. Do you want to start this one, Cynthia? Have any questions? Did you read through that?
No, I don't have any questions, but we've been discussing it back and forth quite some time.
Okay? Lincoln, what do you think?
I thought it looked good, Mr. Chair. I think it's a good idea because we have outstanding debts that have been on the books for forever. And sometimes the staff are busy doing other things. It's good to have an outside third party that's objective, take a look at these and work them through. The only question that I have though is the flat fee regardless, is the cost of collections fee the same regardless of the amount of the ticket? Is it a flat rate?
It is a flat rate. It's a,
It's not a percentage of the actual ticket. So if the ticket's $1,000 or if one is like $100, the collection fee would be the same?
let me check on that because I thought it was a percentage.
That's what I thought too. And that's when I saw that flat fee, it through me off a little bit. If you could check on that, Maisha, and get back to us, I appreciate it.
Generally a percentage.
Paragraph is that?
E. This is a flat fee.
All right, Brianna, what do you think of this one?
I think it's great. I have no comments, criticisms, or questions.
Okay, and Agnelli.
I think I have a correction and a clarification. Are we no longer gonna do liens in property if any debts is going for collection?
So we still have to do liens. So, I mean, a lot of this is so that we can collect like on parking tickets and all of that, because currently we don't have collections on those.
Yes, that part is good. But whatever we were doing, or the code says about placing a lien on the property.
The property,
because they
yes.
owe us money.
Mhm.
Is that going away now, or is that a separate mechanism we can choose to do?
No, so we still have to do that. So we put the liens on the property. I can tell you now, a lot of the liens never get collected. There are liens from before I was here in 2015 that are still sitting on our books. Because a lot of times it's an annual process of adding the liens to property. So if we did a lien in January and it doesn't get added until next January, that the property could have been sold, transferred, and everything else. So now with the collection agency, it allows us to still have the liens, but then also still go after the people.
Okay, so should we say that despite the debt going to a third party collection, the city still has authorization in code XX.3 for lien? I don't know if that's necessary, but like to connect that sending it to a third party does not relieve the penalty of a lien. Check into that maybe with Jason.
I didn't hear you. It went to Jason. Jason did this.
So there's no connection to lien.
I'll check with Jason on that. Cause I think the lien part is already in our code.
Mhm.
And so this was adding, because we didn't have anything about collections. But I'll talk to Jason.
Yeah, okay. And paragraph D refers to, the contract being approved and authorized or by annual basis each odd number year. And so if we intend to sign a contract in 2026, why would we be revising it in 2027? Or are we waiting until 2029? So I think it should be even years if the first contract is signed in 2026. I like the idea of every 2 years, but then even number of years.
Okay.
That's all I have.
And Maisha, I'm wondering, I mean, we put a lot of legal work in this and effort now, and if we wanted to hire a collection agency without doing this, we would not be allowed to.
Correct. You have to
What,
do
what
this.
is the law that says we can't hire a contractor without putting it in the code first? I mean, I'm Randy Brown knows. I
Yeah,
think
I know
Major
the
Butler has
answer.
been talking about this for years, and he said he already had agencies lined up, and all of a sudden it comes up as an ordinance. Was he not thinking ahead of?
I mean, that part I don't
Okay,
know,
Brianna,
but I
you
know
can
we.
answer that?
There's nothing in our current law that authorizes us to be able to use a collections agency. And then also going to your initial question, comment. So if a lien is placed and the person goes into collections, it is on the debtor, it's the debtor's responsibility to prove that they've satisfied the lien. So let's say a lien was placed on your property and you also went into collections and then you paid all the money you owed. It's the debtor's responsibility to go down to the county courthouse and show that they've satisfied the
Yes,
lien.
and that's what they do.
But there's nothing in our current law that allows for a third party to place judgments, to go to court like that. This isn't just allowing for the collections, it's kind of taking the responsibility off the city to collect,
Okay,
which includes the going to court. So this is definitely a very advantageous thing for us to do. Other cities have this kind of ordinance as well, and I think
Right.
it was Chief Alston that brought it forth because he was the one who brought it forth about Rainier.
and it sounds like Jason's familiar with this. He's seen it in other cities also. But,
I would also say that I think that the odd number of years actually is better because we will have our first year this year. And what if we hate it? And so we'd have to wait till 2028 to get out of it. Let's just review it again in a year, and if we love it, then it's 2 years, every 2 years. I think that odd numbers is fine, but I don't have a strong opinion on this, so I'm not gonna not vote for it if it's going to even to odd or odd to even.
So if we sign it this year, we won't review it.
We'd review it in 2027,
Yeah, next year.
and then we'd review in 2029 and 2031 and so on. So this would be the only period for which it would only be a year, but I think it actually, in the first year, it makes sense to make it shorter.
I see your point. I was just clarifying. So
Yeah.
Either way, do you have a preference, administration?
okay, so we'll make that modification. And the only other comment I would make is that you look at the things that we're talking about, parking citations on automated speed cameras, not the parking, but the speed cameras, the red light, stop signs. We're paying, it's just rough terms, we're paying half of the fees to the vendor already. And then we turn it over to a collection agency, and they're gonna get another 50%. So we're not getting a whole lot out of this.
No, that's not what this says.
No?
So the third-party collection agency, we're only allowed to enter into a agreement with an agency that's going to assign those extra fees to the debtor, not to the city. And so if if the debtor owes $100
Mhm.
and the fee is $50 for being late, we get 100. The other company
Oh,
gets
okay.
50.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's
I'm
it's
glad you
obviously a
explained
different
that.
vendor. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you. I
that's what
didn't-
paragraph E says.
Yeah, and the collection agencies do have the ability to offer a little more persuasion because it's their business and they're out there doing it. So, all right. I don't think we have any issues in this. Let's move forward to
Your favorite color.
portable toilets. The topic of the evening. Probably thought that was a bigger highlight than my running career.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
before we move forward, I think the whereas clauses were taken from the previous ordinance and accidentally pulled into this.
Yes,
one.
I saw that.
So we would need that to be updated so we can read the actual ordinance in its
What
right
happened there,
form.
Maisha?
Yeah, page 19 of the packet.
It's an exact replica.
Oh, yeah, I see it, yeah.
Just copied. Yeah.
It should read, whereas people are using portable toilets to relieve themselves in the front yards.
Whereas nobody wants to see anyone relieve
Whereas
themselves.
nobody
in
wants to
this
see.
Poetry.
I don't know that I've seen the whereas, but we can put this off if we need to. I mean,
I need to see where, what.
is this urgent or can this wait till the middle of the month?
Wait.
Okay. Let's see
I
if we can-
recommend that we table it until the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, let's move that to the next meeting. We don't even need to vote on, we'll just do that. Okay, Caitlin, when you be ready and we
I
further.
just have a comment.
Yes, go ahead.
Explore. Is the reference at the beginning of page 20. The last two sentences of number U. And compliance with applicable health, safety, location, and maintenance standards. It's not defined anywhere else. So are we using county safety code standards? What are the applicable health, safety, and maintenance standards? Or either we define them or we refer them to a code somewhere. Top of page 20, first paragraph. And that same sentence is repeated in page 21. The permit application should include at a minimum acknowledgement of compliance of all applicable city, county, and state health and safety regulations. And so is that sentence supposed to align with compliance with applicable health, safety, and maintenance standards?
Number six.
Identify what those standards
Number
are.
6 says maintenance and health.
Oh,
standards.
okay.
Do we have an answer on
Yeah.
those?
If you look at number 6, it says maintenance and health standards and what they are. On
Yeah.
number 6 on page
21, at the bottom of page 21, this defined what you just said.
Page 2.
21 at the bottom.
says maintenance and health standards.
That's true.
6A, I,
Okay, so then it's not a reference to applicable city, county, and health. But could we then specify as compliance with health, safety, and location maintenance standards as defined?
That's what's number 3.
It does have the county.
It is. Says
Okay,
Comply with all, number 3, under A.
I did not make the connection. Like, let's thank you for it.
Okay, well, this one we'll look at again on Monday
Mhm.
in the middle of March. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but now let's move on to the self-reporting personnel policy. I understand the gist of this one, but, I'll go around the table and get comments on this one. Do you have any thoughts on this one, Cynthia?
Can you come back to me, please?
I can do that. Lincoln, how about you?
It looks like it's in order to me, Mr. Chair. I don't have any comments at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Brianna, did you read through this and have any questions?
Yeah, I guess the only question I have when it talks about, like, if someone were to sustain criminal charges, or is it just charges or is it like a conviction? Like, what is the thing that triggers this, policy? And I'm just curious, and what was this didn't come from like us, right? Like, so where did this come from?
what do you, we
Us
wrote
us
it.
as a council. Like this wasn't something.
No, so we as staff wrote this,
Mhm.
and did have Jason go over it.
Mhm.
And because of the policy, we had to bring it to you, because it's an
Of course.
employee policy, you all have to approve it.
Yeah, but was it like, HR like went to a training and thought this was a good policy to have, or other cities have this? Like, what was the genesis of?
We
bringing
had
this
to
forward?
address it.
Okay.
Reality.
I think that, it's still a little vague to me, like the third whereas certain criminal regulatory licensing or court-ordered events occurring on or off duty may materially affect. So how would someone know if their situation specifically would be the type of thing they would have to report? And then I'm a little nervous about, like, for instance, someone's a victim of domestic violence.
So
And they
did-
go and seek a protective order,
So
like,
Exhibit A, Section 3 goes into the events requiring self-reporting.
so arrest. Yeah, so that, I'm a little nervous about it. I would want to, I mean, obviously Jason wrote this, right? So he knows what he's doing and I have confidence in him, but I'm a little nervous as I could see many incidents where someone is arrested and is, for instance, like someone's the victim of domestic violence, but both people get arrested because both people hit each other, but one is truly the victim, We'd be making someone like that have to disclose very personal things that might not necessarily be important for their job. So I do see the list of things now, but I don't know. This stood out to me a little bit as I don't know, maybe I would feel more comfortable if Jason talked to us about how, like, commonplace this is or something like that, because there's just a bunch of things that I could think of that could fit into an exception here or would not be really relevant. But I can totally see, obviously, if someone's out here doing reckless driving or drinking, things with firearms, protective orders. Although it actually says any peace order or protective order, which means that the victim would have to report it, not just the perpetrator. Like, there's a lot of circumstances under which I feel like it could get kind of messy. Maybe this is something, Mr. Chair, we could talk about with Jason in a closed session. And we could possibly,
Does it sound like closed session to you?
just because it'd be seeking legal advice, and possibly we could learn about the incident that was the genesis that brought this forth. But we wouldn't be able to learn that in open session.
Is that closed session stuff, the genesis that brought this forth?
If it's personnel,
I
it would
would
be
say so.
Okay, well,
personnel.
we can Zoom Jason in, and he's good on Mondays. So if you want to do that Zoom, Brianna, does that sound good? I'll ask him to come Monday at our next meeting. At the beginning, we can start with this, and then we can let him go do a closed session.
Yeah, I
Is that
mean,
okay?
if so long as other people feel that that's necessary, I don't want to be the only one. If I'm the only one who has concerns, then that's
No,
not that
I
strong.
think you raised a valid concern. I could think of another not common, but situation of political protest. Bunch of people get arrested.
Mhm.
Am I going to have some consequences at work because I was exercising my
Yeah, there's so
First
many.
Amendment rights to protest and I got, round up.
But the only way you would face consequences is if you don't report it. Because that's what it talks about, is the consequences of not reporting it. Because as an employer, there are certain things that we do need to be made aware of. Not saying there's any repercussions of what I got arrested today for protesting. Or I was arrested today because of me and my spouse got into a fight.
Mhm.
It's not that there will be issues here at work,
Mhm.
but we should be made aware, because depending on what your job is, depending on what came out of that, I may not be able to be around Caitlin
Mhm.
or something like that. So then we as the employer have to take certain. So I don't.
Or what if I get arrested because I was in a KKK, demonstration, and I have to tell you that I was part of the KKK demonstration.
That's what you wanna do.
Yeah,
It's like wearing a mask. If you're happy to do it, you gotta be able to deal with it. That's the consequences. Ice people wear masks. They are too ashamed to show their faces.
There's great areas, so
Yeah.
I'm with Brianna. that I would like to.
And weirdly, you cannot be fired for being a member of the KKK because that's
But if you
reason.
get caught doing something with the KKK,
Yeah.
like mention somebody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's what we talking about. You
All right,
get caught
so-
doing, okay.
To organize this as efficiently as possible, would you two, you're most concerned, I'm seeing Jason's name in here, I'm kind of, comfortable, but I don't know all the details and I haven't experienced these things as Brianna probably has in court. So if you two, Brianna and Agnelli, would frame your questions in writing and I can take them to Jason, he will be prepared for them next time. I'll call him into a closed session at 7:00. We'll start the meeting and he'll have the questions ahead of time so he can answer them. Is that a good way to approach it?
Yeah, I can send you questions by Friday. I can send it to
Okay.
both of you and then.
Mhm.
Okay. And that way you get to think it out exactly
I
what
think
you're
it's
asking. to-
more around the arrest part, not the conviction part.
Yeah, because conviction is definitely, I would totally
Black and
feel more
white.
comfortable with a conviction. But arrest, I mean, people get arrested for, in these immigration sweeps, does that count as an arrest? Like, they go to pick up one person with a warrant, they take the whole family. Does that count as, like, there's a lot of gray areas, especially in today's life that
Okay,
I'm concerned about.
we're good with that. I'll look for the questions whenever. I mean,
Thank
we're
you.
meeting Monday, not on my calendar, but it's 2 weeks from. this week.
Yeah.
I believe
Okay.
it's-
That, we're gonna close this.
I
Yeah.
have a question. It might be just as simple as a typo.
Okay.
On page 26, but it changes the meaning under section 3, events requiring self-reporting a criminal charges. It says any arrest, criminal charge, indictment or conviction, parentheses, felony or misdemeanor, excluding minor traffic accidents not involving
Mhm.
alcohol or controlled substances. So I think it's involving and the word not, it's a typo. Because we're looking to know any arrest involving alcohol or controlled substances or reckless driving. Or are we saying we're excluding from the self-reporting those things?
Excluding minor traffic involved, not involving. So no, you don't have to do minor traffic,
But you do have to report these.
If- but if it includes alcohol or controlled substances, then you do have to include, that's how I.
And how come are those
Yeah.
minor, I would say a minor traffic violation is going 17 miles in a 20-mile zone. Anything about controlled driver license, if it's considered reckless, which in Virginia is 20 miles or any mile over 80, even if it's 81, that's reckless driving and a criminal thing.
So she just wants the wording reach. I see what you
Are
mean.
we meaning to exclude those things?
No.
No.
No, so then the word not, it's the one that's throwing me. Or maybe I'm not getting it.
That might be a question that we pose to Jason too.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's either awkward wording or he's used to seeing this, can explain why it
But
fits
then
together.
still, if it's even a minor traffic accident and involves a city vehicle, we need to know. You get a simple branded
And but I
stop
think
sign.
that, I guess as I read it, that's what it's saying. So if it includes a city vehicle, we have to report, it doesn't matter. If it's license suspension or revocation, you have to report it. If it's reckless or negligent, you have to, I guess I read all of those, excluding minor, except for these things.
Yeah.
Is how,
That's
is how that goes.
Maybe I read it too fast.
No, it is worded awkwardly. I think I perceived it the right way, but I can see how it'd be confusing. And actually, you just drew my attention. One of the things in here is limits firearm possession. So it's under protective orders, but there are actually other things in the state of Maryland that can limit your firearm possession rights, including mental health issues, which would be a HIPAA violation to have to be forcing somebody to report that. So, it is limited there to peace and protective order, but or other court directive. If you have a mental health hospitalization at any point in your life for more than 30 days in the state of Maryland, you lose your right to have a gun. And so let's say there was an employee here who, when they were 18, was committed to the Maryland Department of Health for 30 days, 31 days. They would have to report that, and they'd have to report why they lost their firearm rights. Because there is court order issued for that. So there's a few things here in terms of PII that I'm a little nervous about. but I'll come up with questions.
Okay, those questions, and we can discuss them in closed session with Jason because the genesis of this was personnel related.
Mhm.
Okay, that'll be on the next Monday meeting. Now, we're ready to move in this. Let's look at the purchasing manual, and I didn't put that on the agenda, but I have a copy of it here.
So just part of our code is that we were required to provide a purchasing manual.
Mhm.
And so we have taken the one from Graham Water Days. And it was never updated with the increased, numbers of what required purchasing. But then we also added other pieces to it since then. So I was just providing you all the copy of what we had created.
And the flow chart in the back is part of it. A little blurry. My vision up front is up close is usually
Oh, it
good.
didn't print very well. Oh, no, that did not.
No, that's.
Just the year of life where I started having to
Yeah.
do.
All right, I've read through this before and there's no changes and nothing is, anybody have any comments or
No,
observations? I mean, I know we talked about the 30,000 limit and I'm not in favor of changing that right now, but I know you have something?
The sentence says all awarded contracts need to be approved by resolution by the council upon award by the city. So the resolution happens first before the contract is signed, or just the contract is signed, awarded by the city, and then it could not be awarded until we approve it.
Right.
So it's a little.
Where are you? I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph, the one that says all new and renewal contracts. The very last sentence. Need to be approved by resolution by council upon award by the city. So I interpret that the city awards the contract and then it's approved by resolution. Maybe it's prior to award by the city.
Yeah.
good, good, all right.
Yeah, that is a little awkward, okay.
Yeah, we can change that.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and that's all I have on the agenda, but I'm gonna add two things, not for discussion tonight, but I'm gonna see where these assignments, the status of these. Brianna, if you could fill me in on, you were working on the code and what was gonna be presented in the budget.
Yes,
And is that something we can put on the next agenda?
absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
so
I'm
that'll be
sorry I
my-
wasn't able to get back to you, Caitlin. I was sick last week.
That's okay, I just didn't know where that was. And then Brianna, will you be ready on the Monday agenda also to have the comments you have on the voter eligibility?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so those two are on the agenda next time. They're not on the agenda tonight, I just wanted to status. So
I'm
that-
going to be submitting some questions, as in my examination of the legislation. I had questions that,
Okay.
so I'll be submitting those to you in advance. If either you or Agnelli, because Agnelli is the author, right, of the legislation, could answer those questions. Some of the amendments that I'm proposing probably don't even need to happen. Because I might
Okay.
not, it might be my not understanding if it was the intention or not, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's good. As long as we don't do any three-person meetings.
No.
And I will move into public comments. I'm sorry, Maisha, you got a question?
And I just wanted to make one statement as we move through these, any future RFPs or anything. Anytime that we have questions and we need to go back to the vendors, we need to actually do that through the system. Because what it does is sends the questions out to everyone that either before or after people have bid, so then everyone has an opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
And then we have a full record of that. So we shouldn't reach out to the vendors. We should, if you have additional questions or need clarity on anything, if you can send it to myself or to Quentin, the purchase, then that way we can have it all on record. Because we do get questions from outside people on what was the RFP and who was awarded and blah, blah. And so then that way we have documents of all of that.
Now, Cynthia, you're joining us. You're gonna grab the podium?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just have one question.
Hold up. Whoop.
Take that microphone.
Thank you.
Good evening, Cynthia Full Sweet Long Branch Drive. My question is in regarding to parking tickets and speed camera citations. And if I'm not mistaken, it's both of them that do this. But let's say you get a ticket for $40. 15 days later, that ticket goes to $80. Another 15, it goes to 160. So I have two questions. Who established that guideline? How did we get there?
I can't answer that, but I'll allow an answer. We have a little bit of time here. Can you answer it, Maisha?
I know the answer.
Okay, give her the answer.
The vendor.
The vendor established
The
that.
vendor established that.
So then in this parking collections thing, New Carrollton gets 60 and the vendor gets 180?
Parking, we got 100%.
Yeah, we get 100% on parking. The vendor is the people who actually administer the cameras. Parking is, someone walking around. giving
Parking's all ours,
Oh, okay, so parking is all up, but in the speed cameras,
50%.
okay,
Goes to the vendor, the camera, people
okay,
who provide us the camera.
They own the equipment.
okay, all right, thank you.
Easy questions. Thank you. Care to join us? No, thank you. I got a text here from Stephen John that he couldn't get in. I don't know if he's-
He was in.
Is he in?
He was in earlier. Yeah. So now he dropped out.
Okay, but I see some,
See
I don't see any hands, no.
New Carrollton.
We're gonna move on. You're gonna move.
It's ready.
Cynthia, I don't see any hands.
Foot on the gas over here.
To adjourn and go into
She's ready to go.
special legislation. I move that we adjourn and move to special legislation.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
All right, so we're gonna do that, and anybody will make a motion, we'll call to order to, make a motion that we have just a consent agenda, because we agreed on everything.
No, actually, because on the back is the personnel policies. So
Okay,
can I move that we table the personnel policies until after we speak to Jason?
okay.
That's my motion.
Got a second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Now,
Now, okay. Now we're going to, BRC contract. And, Lincoln, you want to do that one for us?
Sure, Mr. Chair. I move that the city council of the city of New Carrollton approve the contract for BRC Consulting to complete the audit, comprehensive organizational assessment, and compensation study for the city of New Carrollton.
Okay, and I want to thank each of you for the thoughtful questions and the analysis, and I was glad that Beverly and Harold will be here tonight, and I think we've given this a lot of thought, so. Any other discussion? Had plenty. All in favor? Aye. And it's 5-0, no nays, okay? And now, Cynthia.
I move that we adjourn this meeting for March 4th, 2026 at 7:59.
Wow,
All right.
All right.
I'll second.
Might be.
okay, all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed, nay, so the, I didn't say nay.